All right, we are back from that rousing game break, and it's your turn, Trey, who has his Jiffy Pop ready. Where's your review from this week, Trey?
Well, about 2 hours ago, I was going to do a review from Amazon for an inflatable dinosaur, but I also found this other review. So today,
Okay.
and I'm happy with it. Today, I'm going to be doing a review from Yelp. This is
Okay.
1 star for Abracadabra NYC.
Okay.
Abracadabra is this like ginormous multi-level. I think it's a Halloween store, but it's also like a fun store.
I
It's
feel
like
like it's like a
costumey,
year-round costume store that
costume
really
makeup,
amps up around Halloween.
but it feels spooky and Halloweeny. But it is like a permanent,
Fixture.
like multi-generational establishment,
Correct.
um, in Manhattan. So 1 star review. This is from Mariana L.
Okay. Mariana. Okay.
And this is the review.
Okay. Does it have a title?
No.
Okay.
This huge costume and prop emporium recently changed management, and that was not a good thing. As you walk into the entrance, everything around you looks like it has been sitting there. As you walk into the entrance, everything around you looks like it has been sitting there for the past 10 years and covered in the appropriate amount of mildew and dust. I ask for pith helmets. And someone who clearly neither speaks English nor understands it goes behind a velvet rope, parentheses, exclamation mark, and the hat section, parentheses, though she clearly has no idea what a pith helmet is. After about 30 minutes of frustration and looking around the store myself, I try to ask the manager, who looks like a really trashy Sopranos wannabe. He has been on the phone the entire time for what seems to be an overly complicated bet with the OTB, pausing only to tell another potential customer that a used, broken disco ball would be about $2,500 when he asked. I inquired about a specific item I saw on their website that I had called earlier in the day about. The Tony poser tells me that the site and the store aren't the same thing. Parentheses, even though I had spoken to someone about it less than an hour ago. Finally, I see something that slightly resembles a pith helmet and inquire about it. It turns out to be really used, missing parts, broken, and unusable. Even so, this douchebag has the nerve to tell me that I can, quote unquote, have it for $24, like he's doing me a favor. I couldn't spend money here if I shot it up that loser's ass with a two-headed dildo. I apologize for being so crass. If you read my other reviews, you will see that this review is a huge departure for me. But this trashy a-hole has lowered the bar, and I felt it was appropriate to describe my experience accurately. The good news: I ended up finding brand new, great-looking pith helmets at the Army Navy store a few blocks away. They've attached the link. The other store's staff was very helpful, nice, and conducted themselves with class. Also, the much more superior and brand new product was $15.
Whew, wow. 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 Mariana, whatever.
So I felt uncomfortable reading it and almost didn't choose it because of the racism about not speaking English.
Right.
And that is present. But Mariana is non-Caucasian.
Okay.
I'm going to cut this because that's irrelevant. But I was very uncomfortable about that. and then I saw the picture. I have to cut this. Okay. So yeah, Mariana.
Mariana had a lot to say. Okay. Wow. So first of all, my first issue with the review that I'll just bring up.
Yes.
What the heck is a pith helmet?
I got to look it up because I don't know either.
Like, first, the most frustrating thing about this review to me is like you're making it seem like people are idiots if they don't know what a pith helmet is. The guy that works there, who's just trying to help you, I mean, I understand helmets, hats, like that seems like that could be where it would be. Like, if they don't know what it is, why are they not explaining it to us, even like as the person that's going to be reading this review?
So a pith helmet is a
Yeah.
safari helmet. Do you know like the villain in Jumanji?
Yeah.
Like that the dad plays, you know?
So
like in
why
Peter
wouldn't
Pan?
that be with like hats? That doesn't seem so odd to me that
I
would
agree
be
with
in
you.
the hat section.
It would be in the hat section, you would think.
Yeah, hat, helmet, things that go on the head. I mean, I just think that's so weird, like a very odd thing to attack, you know? And then what do you think about the fact that the store, God, so many things. The store has the separate online in-store relationship, and the fact that, does it seem like Marianne called and asked like, hey, I saw this thing online, can I come and get it in the store? And then all of a sudden they were trying to claim no affiliation. Is that what they're saying?
Well, I was confused about that because the beginning of the review was about the pith helmet. And then they specifically say that that I inquired about a specific item I saw on their website. So I don't know if that is the pith helmet. It's confusing to me that it would not be the same inventory.
Right. Same. I mean, it kind of makes a little bit of sense because especially if they're under new management, let's say they're looking to offload some product, maybe they've taken that off site, they put it in a warehouse, they've like done something with it and somebody else is managing that. That doesn't seem so weird to me. I can't imagine it would be any other item other than the pith helmet, because I don't think anything else was brought up except for the disco ball, which I'm assuming was part of the Tony Soprano wannabe conversation that they were having on the phone.
What is a complicated bet with the OTB? What is OTB? You laughed. What is OTB?
I don't know. I laughed because I didn't know what it meant, but I wanted to look that up, but I was actually wrote down OTB question mark.
Off track betting.
I laughed. I remember why I laughed. I laughed because it said
Tony,
a trashy, soprano wannabe, and then later they were like Tony, and I was laughing, so I was like, wow, now we're like, we're still really on that metaphor of him being a Tony poser. I mean, I just think Mariana was mean in this review, and I know that they wanted to make a point of saying like, this isn't the way that I normally act, but we went out with a bang, and then, I mean, pun intended, I guess, in this case, and it was really unnecessary. And then at the end of the review, we received a prologue. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Like all of a sudden we got this prologue to, you know, what happened after you left and this experience at this other store. I don't know. Marianne, I don't know if this would make me not buy something at Abracadabra online or go in there.
It's Mariana, sorry.
Anna,
it's interesting to me because the description of it looking like everything has been sitting there for 10 years is Trey's personal experience of going into Abracadabra. It does have a feeling of like, I don't know, like if you get a costume off the rack that's in a little like plastic bag that's like several in the back, I would imagine it's dusty. That doesn't seem that out of bounds for me, right? From my experience having been there. Also, I do think the disco balls are always outrageously expensive, but Mariana really goes through like so many things are broken or like pre-used.
Yeah, it's similar to the guy that was staying at the hotel that The Shining was based off. It's like, are you an inspection officer, like going through each item and just inventorying for us the damage? I also question, like,
maybe Mariana wanted this pith helmet for a costume reason, but I wouldn't think to go to a costume house to get a pith helmet. I would think I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the
maybe
reason
they were
for
looking
it.
for a more authentic one, so that's why they were doing that. But if they were, well, no, I'm gonna take that back, because they were bragging about the other store and how it was brand new. So that's like my point, I guess, for what you were just saying, is I feel like that's sort of the vibe of these kind of costume stores, is that like,
Yeah.
this is very old. In fact, I had a very negative situation working on a commercial out here in LA where I had to be a flamethrower, and they had this like silver flamethrower suit that they made me wear that for sure was in the back of like some, I don't know, like costume place for God knows how long. And it literally had bugs in it. And I brought those bugs home to my place of residence and had to get an exterminator. Like, it was like a nightmare. Yeah. So
there was another Abracadabra review that was like 2 sentences, but it said a spider crawled out of this wig.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, I feel like, I don't know. In that situation, I didn't even blame the costume house. I more blamed the person who got it, like launder the item, or is it the costumes shop's responsibility to launder it? I don't know.
I guess I just feel like I believe that this experience happened.
Right.
I do think that there's something going on emotionally with Mariana, that they went from 0 to 100 so quickly, even though they've prefaced that this is out of character for them. But to mention a double-headed dildo as like a painful thing, like it's like as punishment, like dildos are not for punishment. So that's already like perverse that you're thinking of it that way. And then also like douchebag and a-hole, and like it's
and
just
also
like
comparing
unnecessary.
him to Tony Soprano, like the whole thing was unnecessary and like borderline offensive. Yeah.
Also, they're a hypocrite, because at the prologue, or the what is it? The epilogue.
The epilogue
says that the other store conducted themselves with class. Well, it doesn't seem like Mariana is very classy in the way that they are treating this Tony Soprano lookalike.
Yeah, I didn't like their whole thing, and I think that it's unfortunate when we have these reviews where there are elements of this, I guess, that could be valuable, like just like you said, sort of knowing that it's not going to be the cleanest place in the world. Don't expect things to not be broken because they're vintage, and like they are probably going to be broken. If you have different expectations, go elsewhere. But that message really gets muddied.
Especially with the indignation that someone didn't know what a pith helmet is. I understand that like this is a costume place, and so you would think that they would have a deeper understanding about articles of clothing than maybe you and I.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like if I was looking for something that specific, I wouldn't be upset that I'd need to explain what it was.
Totally agree.
Like, the spelling here is kind of funny. Like,
okay,
I'm curious, maybe Mariana is not from the United States, because they say the Tony poser is spelled Poseur, which seems very British to me.
Yeah. Or maybe Canadian. I don't know.
I also loved when they say that the person went behind a velvet rope, parentheses, exclamation mark, parentheses. Like, that's so funny. Like,
right.
Like a nonverbal, like, exclamation mark.
Yeah, they definitely seem like they played around with their punctuation quite a bit.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know the value here. I don't think it's a deal breaker for me, because I kind of have a negative feeling about Mariana from reading the review, rather than the owner or the manager or like the person that was trying to help.
100%.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I would not hang this on my fridge.
I would definitely not hang this on my fridge. Do you think we're ready to crown Mariana?
I think I am, yeah.
All right, let's crown her.
The queens are tabulating.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Total score.
Oh my God, Trey.
Wow.
All right. Trey is holding up 3 crowns and I'm holding up 1 crown. Do you go first? Do I go first?
You.
I go first. Okay. I'm holding up 1 crown because I just lost my trust of Mariana as my narrator in this review. I just didn't like the fact that she was being such a big bully, and I think that her messaging really got muddied by that tactic. I also think TMI with the epilogue, and I don't think it has any impact on me as to whether or not I go to this store. I would have to do a lot more research and a lot more deeper digging. I would have to do a lot more deeper digging to find out a little more information about Abracadabra. What is wrong with me? Anyway, so that's why I gave Mariana. That's why I gave Mariana 1 crown. How about you? Why did you give Mariana 3 crowns?
I went with 3 because it is a little middle of the road. I think that Mariana's lack of anger management is like a little muddying, but I did think that the picture they painted of the store is sort of how I have experienced Abracadabra in my lifetime.
Right.
And I don't have a judgment call on that. I mean, it's like, you know, it's a year-round costume shop.
Right.
But I don't know. It wasn't humorous. I didn't like how it turned dark at the end, but there have been times when I have been on a mission for like something very specific for Halloween. So I appreciated Mariana mentioning the Army Navy store across the street, because it is like, oh God, I don't want to get on the train and schlep. And
right.
Like, I could also check out the Army Navy store just as like a reminder. Like, it's neither here nor there, but I sort of appreciated that.
Okay.
So I went with 3 because ultimately it's middle of the road. It's not a deal breaker to me. I feel more negatively about Mariana than I do about Abracadabra. And so
for sure. 3. Yes. Completely agree.
Awesome.
That was great. I did look through these reviews and I passed Mariana. So I'm glad that you brought this in. This was great, Trey. Oh my God. Do you have a phone call to make? Are you disposing?
Sorry, someone just keeps calling me and asking me if I like scary movies. It's really weird.
Oh, do you like scary movies?
I told him I'm recording a podcast. He'll have to wait.
Baby, it's time.